Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Oscar vs. Trevor here, joined by Thomas, and it is Can Day 5, second video of the day. And boy, do we have a lot to talk about. It is the
Yes,
big
we
one.
do.
It is the big day. We got Killers of the Flower Moon. We got May December. We also got the Zone of Interest Metacritic score, and it is ridiculous. So Thomas hasn't seen anything. He's been offline
I've been off
today.
internet for the past year, so
He
this is
doesn't
going
know
to be some
anything.
live reactions.
So I just want to start out by showing you this Zone of Interest Metacritic score. I don't think that you're prepared for this.
Okay.
You aren't.
I'm predicting high 80s, so I'm assuming it's in the 90s.
98.
How high? Ooh, that is fucking high. That's high.
This
98.
is the highest we've seen since Parasite and Moonlight.
Okay, and what do those two films have in common? I think we all know. I mean, I'm not saying anything yet, but you know.
Picture, but this is insane.
98 off 11 as well. 11's not like a small amount. Like,
no,
obviously
like
it's a small
people
amount.
Have seen this movie.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, 98.
98.
That's higher than things like After Sun, higher than,
I mean, it's higher than Past Lives. A24 literally has a 98 and a 95 to work with this year.
I mean, that's just A24 for you, isn't it? So, I mean, it'd be interesting. Potentially, I feel like they've positioned Past Lives in a way that they can sort of drop out of it as their major Oscar contender, like it's been released. It's not a full release that they sort of maybe will think, oh, we have to now back. Like, they could just switch their main priority to a film like Zone of Interest. So that would be interesting.
It's possible. Yeah.
Or there's even a chance that maybe the top two, you know, we're looking at Past Lives and Zone of Interest. Potentially they're both in that mixer for Best Picture contention.
If A24 is going to have a year where they get two in, like, it seems like this would be the year where they have a 95 and a 98.
Yeah, because I mean, we're looking at Warner Bros. And they're like, they've got 3 potential contenders. So why not A24 having 2? And especially 98 is
ever there was
Jesus Christ, that is high.
Like, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right, now it's time to talk about Killers of the Flower Moon. Probably the biggest festival premiere of the year, even. Like, it is. Come on, we got a 91.
Okay, that's positive. That is. Yeah.
It feels underwhelming after the 98 from Zone of Interest.
Like I mean, but 98, 91 is still, that's one of the highest of the festival so far. So, yeah. And I don't know what Irishman or Silence are on, but I assume it's higher than them,
Irishman was a 94. Silence was a 76.
Okay.
So Irishman was 94, but this is the first time, like, before that, his last 90 was The Age of Innocence and then Goodfellas.
Okay.
So it's been a while.
People are liking it, though. Yeah,
this is, I think, it's in its like top 5 as far as critical acclaim so far. Really, really positive reviews. Lily Gladstone getting raves.
I'm sure. I think there's no reason to not have her winning supporting actress at this point. I guess if you want to do something a bit weird and say, oh, it probably won't be the front runner at this stage. I guess. I just don't think there's any reason not to have her winning. I just think it makes so much sense.
Like, every single review I've read has been specifically highlighting Lily Gladstone as the, like, standout, just, like, stunning performance. People are also saying that it's Leonardo DiCaprio's best performance of his career. I've been hearing that.
I mean, I think he's going to get in as well. I've heard enough narrative that people say, oh, maybe, you know, he missed out for Donut Cup or whatever. I don't. Like, he still gets in. So I'd be predicting him as well. Probably not winning, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, reading that it's like one of his most political films, like dealing a lot with just like the problems of some of America's history when dealing with race, and like just it's a lot of very evil white men doing bad things, which love to see it. And yeah, just like very, very big emotional film. I mean, it's like a true historical epic. Like, people were sobbing. It was like, you know, sweeping cinematography, massive sets. I mean, like, probably we're gonna see all 4 getting in, from what I've heard. Like, people are saying all 4 actors in, and then a ridiculous amount of text.
Yeah, and I mean, just look at the reviews you've scrolled through so far. 100. That is a lot of perfect reviews already. Like, okay, this is going to be a big contender. I just don't know if it fits the narrative of Best Picture winner, but potentially Scorsese hasn't won since 2006 as Departed, so there is potential that there is a sort of
like, it's a very political film.
Exactly, it's political, and if it is addressing these themes and is topical to today, which I'm sure it will be, and maybe can get a few acting wins, maybe even screenplay. This is probably going to win screenplay, right? Unless maybe Barbie goes. Unless Barbie goes adapted, in which case we could have a bit more of competition. But
or Zone of Interest at this point, who knows?
Or Zone of, exactly, yeah. I guess Zone of Interest, but
I don't really think that's the thing. But
but like strong in screenplay, couple acting wins, plus the tech nominations. Like, this is just sort of a perfect package for
I could
Best
see it being
Picture
something like
contender.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, though, or like The
Mm,
Irishman again.
potentially, I mean, the bloated runtime might make it a little
But
inaccessible. I'm
this
not
film
sure,
feels
but
way more political and timely than those. So
yeah.
it's interesting. It's interesting. Okay, let's take a look at the Letterboxd for this film. Killers of the Flower Moon sitting at a 3.8. Very, very solid. Like, you maybe expect it to be a bit higher. I think it's gonna rise up past the 4 pretty easily, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. And I mean, you look at that 5-star ratings, and we talk about passion with Best Picture, winning
Yeah.
or even contending films. And if you think about what you would be passionate about towards the end of the year, it's the films you give 5 stars. It's the films you
Right.
give 10 out of 10. And if a lot of people are giving it that, if a lot of people are giving it that kind of acclaim, especially people at Cannes who, are maybe not all members of the Academy or anything like that, but do have a sway as to which films can generate passion and which films build that passion. I genuinely think this could be in line to win Best Picture. Like, I'm not saying it will. I'm not calling it now.
I mean,
I'm just saying it looks like it could develop that passion.
The films that have reviews so far that have this type of passion are Past Lives, Killers of the Flower Moon, and The Zone of Interest. Those are the films that are released that have that type of passion. I mean, we'll see what other films have that type of passion, but like those are the 3 as of now that we're seeing with just like massive support behind them. So like Zone of Interest, just for everything I'm reading, just I feel like that's going to be way too inaccessible. Like I think its maximum is like Tar. Like that's its maximum.
Like if we're talking about this being inaccessible and this is the new Martin Scorsese film, what is Zone of Interest going to be like? I'm not sure. I still think it could do some things. Zone of Interest.
Again, I think if anything, it's like a Drive My Car or The Tree of Life. Like picture director screenplay or picture director cinematography, like some kind of combination of that, and that's how it gets in. So we'll see. But yeah, I mean, nothing but extremely positive things for Killers of the Flower Moon. I mean, it just like I don't know, like as many as just like when you give Martin Scorsese $200 million in full creative freedom, like what else do you expect? Like are all of Scorsese's movies for me? No, but you'd have to be stupid to say that like he isn't like one of the most gifted and talented filmmakers like working out. Like
exactly.
No, but he's just obviously like one of the best.
Yep, and this just looks to be another one, and I don't know why. No one should really be doubting this. I guess no one should doubt this man's talent at this point.
Yeah,
it just looks like every film he produces just turns to gold, I guess.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. And honestly, from everything that I'm reading about it, like I feel like I'm gonna like this more than things like Irishman and Silence and The Wolf of Wall Street, all of which weren't entirely for me. Like I like when when he has like a really strong like female protagonist in it, and like Lily Gladstone is one of my favorite actresses working right now. Like this feels like a Scorsese film that will really work for me. So I'm really here for it. I'm really excited about it. I was feeling a bit tentative about it before these reviews, but like I'm so here for it now.
Because like I mean, even the worst of Scorsese can sometimes just be like maybe 70s, like people are not passionate about it, they respect the craft but are not getting that feeling from it. This just looks like a different thing. Exactly. Like Silence. This just looks like people are developing that passion, and that is all important in terms of the Best Picture campaign.
All right, let's talk about May December. This one, fascinating reactions. No Metacritic yet, but we do have Letterboxd, so we'll be looking through that. So it's a 3.5.
Okay.
Here's the interesting thing, okay? This movie is not what we were expecting. It is, people are saying it's like John Waters, like campy dark comedy.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. People are saying it's like an insanely funny dark comedy. Everybody's saying like Natalie Portman, Julianne Moore, and Charles Melton are like giving like performances of a lifetime in just like sadistic dark comedy.
Okay, that is interesting.
Yeah,
I will say Academy not always the most favorable towards comedy. I mean, it does sound great. I mean, sure, why not? Todd Haynes, why not do a dark comedy? I'm excited to see it. And based on your reaction, pretty positive, I guess, overall. It looks like
I'm expecting like an 80 or so from Metacritic. Like people do seem to be liking it. I mean, David Ulrich as well, like gave it a 4 out of 5. Yana Murray 4 out of 5. Like I know Clayton Davis of Variety really loved it. I think he gave it like a 9 or something. Like people are liking it. I mean, just very unexpected. Like people were just surprised.
Yeah,
you're expecting
I guess
it to be a lot dark, like expecting the dark but not the comedy. But Yeah, no, it's interesting. People are saying Charles Melton was even the standout. Like he
Okay.
wasn't even like
Yeah.
overshadowed.
And I mean, that's what he needed to be. He needs to be the clear standout for any sort of awards buzz, because else I would have seen him just getting overshadowed by Natalie Portman and Julianne Moore. Not necessarily due to merit, just because they are bigger names, they are more in the sort of club. But if he is the one standing out, then yes, why not? Because I guess the bigger names will get the eyes on the film, and then Charles Melton will sort of come along for the ride, I guess. Interestingly, I mean, it is the Cannes crowd. I don't think they are the type of people that would be getting angry at this film, like making it seem controversial. I don't think it's really a problem, and I don't think many people at Cannes do. I think it'll be more of it when it hits the mainstream audiences. Then we'll start seeing the controversy roll in, but not as of yet.
Yeah. And like, so everything that I've heard, like great performances, and then I've also heard that the score is really good.
Okay.
Which I found interesting. So you know what this reminds me of as a potential like comp for awards?
Okay.
It reminds me a lot of Notes on a Scandal.
Okay.
So 2006 film starring Cate Blanchett and Judi Dench, directed by Richard Eyre. It got 2 actress nominations for both of the actresses. It got a screenplay nomination and it got a score nomination. It's a very, very campy film about a school teacher who is having a relationship with one of her students, and then Judi Dench is playing the principal. So it's like a campy, dark comedy about a underage relationship where the actresses are like, you know, going insane, like Oscar-winning actresses just giving it their all. And, you know, great score nomination. I could see the screenplay. I don't know if this will land in picture, because that was in the year of 5, I believe. If there was 10, then like with 2 acting nominations, screenplay, score, maybe it sneaks in. But, you know, maybe the campiness of it is divisive, and it could end up with The Whale or Being the Ricardos and get screenplay and acting, but then just miss out on picture. So I could see it going either way, but like I feel actually pretty good about that as a comp with acting, screenplay, score.
Yeah, especially if it is these sort of A-list actors in the club giving these performances, then sure, I think that should be fine. I mean, they don't always tend to favor comedic performances, but if it's, you know, Natalie Portman, Julianne Moore doing it,
it's
I think
that comedy camp, like
exactly.
You know.
I think they'll give it a pass, and also screenplay, it is more open to these maybe slightly things that not everyone is appreciating, that are not always in the pitch conversation, not always in director conversation, stuff like that. So screenplay acting, I can definitely still see happening, and even if it does maybe hit bigger, I don't know if direct would necessarily feel like it's not. It doesn't really feel like a director's movie, but picture could just come along with it, because as you say, in a year of 10, set 10, they might think, okay, well, we enough people like film.
I'm also just waiting for a distributor, like truly on it, and honestly,
come on, Searchlight. I need to be Searchlight, because that would just fix a lot of problems.
Searchlight makes a lot of sense, because then this is Searchlight's push. And if it is Searchlight, I would feel confident about putting it in our 10 still.
Yes, because I mean, even though Poor Things, we all saw the Poor Things trailer. It was all over Twitter and the internet, whatever. It looks stunning, but I still don't really necessarily know if it looks Oscar-y type. If it looks like an Academy favorite.
Searchlight picks this up, then yeah, I'd feel good
Searchlight
about
picks this up, that pushes down Poor Things, pushes up this. Cool, we're going. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see who does pick this up, because whoever picks up, that's going to be a big interesting. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Right. Because like again, acting feels good, screenplay, score. Like I don't know, I like the Notes on Scandal comparison. I also saw people bringing up Promising Young Woman as a comp, as a kind of like dark comedy about a serious topic, and very political and kind of divisive, with like very strong lead actors' performances. Like I know it's going to be more along those lines, and like, you know, that one screenplay. So like I still think that this will be a contender. It isn't the Tar. Like I feel like the Tar is going to be like the Zone of Interest, and
yes,
that's our Tar if we're just comparing it to last year. And then this is, you know, maybe like a Triangle of Sadness. I don't know. I don't know, but like it gets acting like. But let's take a look at the Cannes standings. Let's take a look at these things, because they're a bit of a shakeup.
Yeah, I'm sure.
All right, so here are the Cannes standings as we see the Zone of Interest just towering over everything in the first spot. I don't really see that getting moved. A 4.0 on Letterboxd and 98 on Metacritic. Like, I don't see anything beating that.
No, I like 98 is just too high. I mean, you're going to have to be 99 or 100 for it to be.
I don't think anything's going to beat that all year.
No, exactly. That's one thing. Like, if it was maybe 95, potentially, and even that, I think it would have had to have been May December or Killers, and neither of those two did topple it. So I think we've got a fairly solid number one, and I think that could just be the Palme d'Or winner as well.
Yeah. At this point, like it's so far ahead because even the number two, Killers of the Flower Moon, I mean, really strong numbers with like a 91 and a 3.8, but like it's not, it's not in competition and it's not coming close to Zone of Interest.
No, exactly. Even Killers of the Flower Moon is not touching. It's not coming in touching distance with Zone of Interest.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
yeah.
Monster still holding really strong. It was one of our first films on this list, and it just keeps on climbing a little bit, and it's still holding strong at number 3. About Dry Grass is still really strong at number 4. This film, The Nature of Love, really, really strong still in certain regard, doing really well. Number 5. Four Daughters at number 6, still in competition. And then Robot Dreams, that thing that Neon picked up, number 7.
I mean, I guess we should just trust Neon. Whatever they pick up, let's just trust that it'll be good because chances are it will be. So interesting.
Yeah. It's at a solid 3.6. I think that we can, we'll put it tentatively on the list for animated feature. We'll see, probably like in like our top 10 or top 15. We'll see what Neon decides to do with it. But yeah, overall, pretty positive reviews coming out of that thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Number 8, Still Pictures of Ghosts. Had a new entry here, Goodbye Julia, coming in at number 9. It's an out of competition film, but decent reviews. Okay. And then sitting just squeaking in at number 10 is May December in competition. It is currently 5th place in the in competition standings. I think I'll probably get like an actor's prize or something like that.
Yeah, potentially. Like, and we'll see about the Metacritic, which could see it rise further up the list. It could also, I don't imagine it would see it lower. I mean, chances are in a position like 10th now, it doesn't end up on the top 10, but it should still be a fairly high one coming out of the festival.
Because it's the 3.5 is essentially like a 70. So if the Metacritic, we go off the average if it has a Metacritic as well. So if the Metacritic can get up to like 80, mid 80 or something, it might be able to secure its spot in the top 10. But we'll see. Regardless, I think it'll end up top 10 for in competition.
Yeah. And I think what is great about this is we saw on the first day we got Shundaberry, not well reviewed. Second day, weren't getting great reviews either. A lot of them were sort of middling, and they've just been steadily increasing. Now today, it feels like all of the the big stuff have premiered to very good reviews. So yeah,
great, it's great. There's also Banel and the Dama.
That's in competition as well.
Yeah, that's an in competition film. Got 3.4. It's currently sitting in 14th place in the standings, so just outside. Still a couple of in competition things that we're still looking out for in the future. We still got Ken Loach's new film. We
do.
That's still here. I mean, 2-time winner, got to be taken seriously. My pre-festival pick to win the Palme, La Chimera, by Ellis Walker. Listen, it's probably just Zone of Interest at this point, but it's still there. And there's still a couple of things to keep an eye on. So we still have some more in competition stuff. I think we've gotten all of like the big premieres that we were expecting for Oscar stuff at this point, except for also Elemental, the Pixar film. That's still here. We're still going to get that in a couple of days as the festival closer. But these are the Cannes standings as they are after day number 5. We're 5 days in, and like look at the top of this list. Like, God, we're in for a treat this year with film. Like,
yeah, I know. Zone of Interest, Monster, About Dry Grasses, and Killers as well.
Yeah.
No, it's exciting.
Fantastic. But that is it. Thank you everybody so much for watching our coverage of day 5 of the Cannes Film Festival. We will be back once again tomorrow. We're pumping out videos every single day. And we'll also have some reviews coming. We're going to be talking about Fast X soon because that fits in with Cannes coverage. I got a review of Past Lives coming out once I find it day to put it where it's not 2 videos a day. So plenty of fun stuff coming on the channel, so stick around, have a fun time. I don't know, but until next time, we will see you guys tomorrow for more coverage. But stay safe, everybody, and goodbye. What a day.